right at you, ladies and gentlemen. Dragonshire for a previous match today, played out by Twisted Fuzion. They're on the blue, and Kick Inc. here on the red-hand side of things. And yeah, I'll take the first introduction here, Mr. Shane Gutscher. On the left-hand side will be Team Fuzion, and this was a team again. Potty Boss, we saw a little bit earlier. Taz Dingo, Tony. I think I actually got the teams backwards then. Alex the Pro G and Rolik. I'm going to pause it quickly at just to find out, but you know, tell us who's on the other side while we wait here, Mr. Shane.
Other side of the map is going to be the Azul playing the Zagara, Waybridge playing at Tassadar, Zafman on Brightwing, Weezer on the Sergeant Hammer, and Jumara on the Rocket God ETC.
Yeah, so I totally got them backwards. I don't know how I did that.
It happens.
Twisted Fuzion. So now I don't even remember who wins. So that's the bonus out of this.
There you go.
All right, so it will be Twisted. Oh gosh. Sometimes editing is really fun. What? Twisted Fuzion against... There we go. Team Kick Inc. Bam. All right, 100%. We're good. Team Kick Inc. will be here on the blue-hand side, and that will be the end of that. Team Fuzion will be our red. So sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I as I said, I thought I actually knew which team was on, but turns out I don't. So, unexpected bonus. We don't actually remember who wins the game, so that's fun. I'm at 10 seconds, sir. Are you ready to roll?
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1, play. As we have a little bit more of a party lane here into the bottom, Shane.
Yep, Tyron, Uther, and Witch Doctor. That's a hellish lane, a Lunar Flare into a Zombie Wall, or vice versa. That can be someone going down. Though, with the lane that Twisted Fuzion is showing, they definitely can escape those ganks. Obviously, Hammer can knock her way out of there, use her boost. ETC can power slide, and Brightwing can always heal herself and pixie dust herself away to safety. Immediately, thing I want to talk about, level 1, Vala, going with the Ranger.
Wow, all right, so attack speed increased right there. We also got the Ranger's Mark to go with the Regen Master on all that, and of course, with the Death Ritual, the Mazibo, who is in this model, Alex the Pro G right there, is going to be starting to get those stacks ready to roll. In terms of, I'm not entirely too sure who the bans were, but in terms of support, Uther Tyrande on the left-hand side, whereas it's just Brightwing. Okay, well, I guess the Tassadar is there as well with the Healing Ward, but the Tassadar Brightwing to counter.
Looking at the other lanes, up in the top, Zagara and Chen. Really gonna have to favor the Zagara there. Though Chen can really hold his own. Because of those shields, he actually do some decent harassment, but the strength of the Hydralisk does so much damage. I mean, Zagara is just chewing through the shields with Potty Boss's
Brew?
Brew. I was gonna say drink and brew at the same time.
Drew.
The Drew, yes, his Drew. I don't know if his name's Drew, that'd be just fitting. But yeah, now he's starting to boss him out of the lane. He's bossing the boss out of lane. The lane's starting to push him, and that's just the strength of Zagara. The strength of Zagara is self-evident. Her lane presence is unmatched, and she can push so very well.
Well, in terms of this matchup, yeah, she will definitely have the upper hand on that one. The creep placement's really interesting as well. It's right across that wall, the bushes, yeah. But some of it's actually now also into that shrine. So we're going to be looking there to see who's going to get that top shrine. Bottom shrine is very securely in Red's hand at this point. And yeah, that's going to be a stun. Jumaru has to be very careful. It looks like he will be able to get out of this one without too much more fuss. This is a pretty interesting CC from the bottom, though. I mean, we got the Tyrande, we got the Uther stuns, and then on the back of all that, we can put up a zombie wall.
Tony's looking for a Hammer of Justice to align the stars, if you will, with the Hammer of Justice into a Lunar Flare. And there's a Hammer of Justice Lunar Flare off the mark. The Hunter's Mark was there. Could have been a kill, potentially, because a zombie wall follow-up would have been great. There's a good zombie wall zoning Jumaro away from the rest of his team. He's going to have to take the long road to get away. Just taking a lot of harassment damage. Both of these guys are taking a lot of harassment damage. Though Brightwing's heals are free and don't require mana, while Uther's heals, it might be a little bit quicker, and they are going to come sooner. They do cost mana, so he will run out of mana sooner rather than later. Though Tony's got to be careful here, taking a lot of harassment damage. A beautiful two-man Lunar Flare onto the ETC and the Brightwing, both of them taking a substantial amount of damage. Unfortunately, the focus was not there. They weren't able to actually bring anyone down. Though in the midst of that, first Dragonite, a really early Dragonite being taken for the red team here, which is Twisted Fuzion. Nailed it. And they're going to get themselves some tier 1 towers, get themselves level 7, and securing themselves a good foothold and a good lead on the race to level 10.
Yeah, Vala against the Tazstar is just not going to go the way of Taz Dingo. But Vala with a very nice clutch vault there at the end of it. Waybridge is really just kind of going unimpeded on top of these towers. Patty Boss is not bossing around the top lane whatsoever. He did call it there with that lane presence. It has been very back and forth into the bottom, but again, if nobody's up there to help Vala stop out that Tazstar, he did take it very convincingly. Taz Dingo has been really low on the hit points for a while now, but both towers down in the mid. That gate is about to drop there as well, and there goes the dragon. He got the damage he needed. Waybridge's got to be very happy about that, and the other lanes have not really suffered at all. Level 7s going both sides.
Now Twisted Fusion has established themselves a great position in the bottom lane. I'm sure you've seen it before, and it's frustrating to deal with as Sergeant Hammer gets into that bush right by the shrine, and you can just sit there and peck away at the bottom tier 2 tower, sorry, tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. And they're going to be able to get 2 towers out of this, so that's going to be about 4 towers going the way of Twisted Fusion. That's 1,600 experience, and that is showing as they almost have an entire level lead. What if they're going to fall back, get some mercenary camps, or just keep the lane pressure here, keep bottom lane pushed in, and that's going to enable maybe another Dragon Knight later on in the match to get that bottom port.
Yeah, we have a little bit of time before the next shrines do spawn, but you know, Jumaru and Weezer are holding down the bottom. Got Waybridge still doing boss things up against Taz Dingo. It's really has buoyed it out. Potty Boss has actually started putting up a bit more of a fight up against the Zagara, but he is still more or less just the pinata for those envenomed spines that he has. The rapid incubation there as well will just keep that mana flowing and creep with the reconstitution, the health regen. Yeah, I always say, if it's heals versus shields, the heals will win in the long run. The shields are always just temporary solutions. And well, Potty Boss, he keeps going at it, so I'll give him credit for that.
Chen just has so much health regen, especially once he hits level 7, he gets that Brewmaster's balance. I mean, it's an additional 24 health per second on top of the regen master. He sits there with the shield mitigates the damage while he heals up, and that really, once he hits level 7, he can just sit in the lane and tank an absurd amount of damage. Though, the shrines are about to activate here in about 20 seconds. Thankfully, though, Kix is definitely going to have enough time to get themselves level 10, which is going to enable them to contest these shrines. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to.
Now, looking at the Siege Sister comp coming out from Zagara as well as Sergeant Hammer, we got the Devouring Maw ready to go. Mosh Pit, though, so you know, we've talked about this a little bit before. When you have one set of Wombos going up against another set of Wombos, sometimes they can't actually defeat each other. If we have a Maw go off at the same time as a Mosh Pit, that is going to be disastrous for Twisted Fusion. So it's really up to them to kind of make sure that their coordination is on par, but ooh, could be actually a little bit dangerous on top of Jumaru, but unfortunately, there's just really no kind of big follow-up after that. Yeah. So he has the hit points to live through it. He'll be okay. Bottom Shrine will go red, and Heroics now on both sides.
If there was a Vala down there in bottom lane, Jumaru could have potentially gone down there, but that's just no follow-up from the Lunar Flare. There's no zombie wall. I mean, if they really wanted to get zealous, they could use a Ravenous Spirit, but it probably would have got interrupted nonetheless.
I didn't notice
shrines,
this, but Puncturing Arrow, Mr. Shane.
Yes, it's definitely a hybrid build coming out from the Vala, with Rain 4, Puncturing Arrow at level 4, now Battle Momentum. It's a little bit of everything. A right-click build, a Puncturing Arrow build.
Devouring Maw can eat barrels.
Oh, that is awesome. I missed it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Taz Dingo's got to be careful, though. He's getting real low. The Archon being used here. Patty Boss, with all that health regen and all of that shield, you can't take the damage from an unmitigated Archon. And both of these shrines have been on the side of Twisted Fusion for quite some time, yet none of them have really capitalized on it. They're not going for the shrine in the middle lane, as there is a Vala there who's soaking up the experience and also going to zone out anyone who tries to get it.
Yeah, and the zones just weren't enough to keep everyone just kind of happy. I mean, the 3-man versus the 3 has been very consistent at the bottom. It became a 2 versus 2 up top as well, right? So that's 5 right there. No Vikings here today, so we don't have that extra body to go grab the dragon. And Potty Boss came immediately back, got that shrine. Looks like Azul's is going to be able to, you know, pick it up anyways. And now we have an ETC. Now we have a Waybridge here mid, and Taz Dingo does not have the hit points to stick around. And now, sir, you will have your dragon.
So the second Dragon Knight going the way of Twisted Fusion, about to hit level 13. Bottom fort is exposed. Mid fort is exposed. Top fort completely closed away by those tier 1 towers. It looks like they're going to go top. They want to get the rest of those tier 1 towers, get another 800 experience underneath their belt. And during this whole time, though, they're going to be doing a little push and soak, if you will, with ETC in the mid, Brightwing and Sergeant Hammer in the bottom. Just trying to continue to push the advantage that they have, because if Kick responds to this with doing the exact same thing, it's not going to favor them. The Dragon Knight is going to push into you, and he's going to get damage done to your towers. He's going to get damage done to your forts. And it's just not a favorable position to be in at all for Kick right now.
No, Kick is really a bit, they've been on the back foot for a while now. So, you know, we're still going to be waiting for them to kind of show the strength of their comp. So far, the Barrel has been defeated. The Dragon Knight is still marching around. Has 7 seconds left on its timer, but 76% of his hit points as well. I mean, nobody's really contested him. He went top, he caught the gate, he's going mid, he's looking for that tower. Waybridge, I mean, even if he explodes deep in enemy lines, he has himself the Dimensional Warp, but he only has the Shrink Ray, not the Prescience, so he can't quite go as deep as maybe we're seeing more and more on the NA side of things. Bottom lane is Weezer. Could have actually been in some big trouble there with that Lunar Blaze, but he avoids it, and teams down here are at least going to be bouncing off each other. The teams up top going to be bouncing off each other. It's really just Waybridge really just kind of does the variance here.
Testing in a lot of trouble. A beautiful two-man mosh pit. And there is a Rain of Vengeance, though. Be a follow-up there, but not enough as Vala gets taken out in a 1-for-1 exchange. Even exchange so far, but right now Tyron is very, very low, and this is definitely going to favor Twisted Fusion, as they're going to get themselves 2 kills, push in, continue to push this bottom lane in, and still at a level advantage on the horizon, level 16.
Look at the hero damage numbers from Sagara. 52,000. And all of it is just hitting this boss.
That is absolutely insane. He's just been sitting there taking it with all his health regen, with all his shield. That sure is padding that Zagara's numbers for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. 57,000 hero damage is ridiculous. Alex the Pro G will live. No more dots ticking away on him. And he will defeat that gank, but still, bottom lane is continually being pushed in. We took the easies. That's now starting to slam there on top of that fort. Tez Dingo here for the defense now as well. He always seems to be on the defense, but Patty Boss has left the top lane. He's now joining the fight mid. He jumps right on in, but there's really no follow-up. Needs the rest of the team to get here.
So there's level 16, an imposing presence coming out from the ETC. Criticize the double Psionic Storm, so the much more aggressive Tasker build coming out. The race car build really doesn't seem to be favored that much in the EU scene. They're favored more that utility with the Shrink Ray, offensive and defensive, and obviously the offensive ability of having 2 Blanket Psionic Storms to lay down on the enemy team. The build from Zagara is the standard one, which is the Mutalisk into the Brute expansion, 2 Mutalisks. Those Mutalisks do a huge amount of damage. They also grant vision as well, a recent change that was given to Zagara with the most recent Lost Vikings patch.
And they don't fly away if their targets go down prematurely. Yep. So yeah, you can use them as like little mobile scouts, little mobile wards, and well, they're actually attacking Patty Boss up top, but he doesn't seem to care. You know, when you're a panda, you can just drink your problems away, and they eventually just leave.
Bottom Shrine, bottom Bruisers being taken by Twisted Fusion, and this party lane is not going to cease. It's been this 3v3 the whole entire time, coming up here on the 11-minute mark. With the Bruiser camp, this might be the push that's finally going to secure the kill onto the fort. There's a Lunar Flare. Not much follow-up. It's easy to hit Lunar Flares on stationary targets. Need follow-up, though, from it. This Alex the Pro G wasn't in a good position to land a zombie wall. Tony is going to get criticized and polymorphed. Add insult to injury. There's the zombie wall. Again, good initiation. Oh, man, the knockaway was in the wrong direction. Starfall is going to be used first aid. And Emerald Wind is going to be a big disengage. Coming out of Twisted Fusion. Can they get a follow-up kill onto Jamara? The Ravenous Spirit into the Owl and Hunter's Mark is going to be a kill. So 2 kills right now at the 12-minute mark. Level 16 to level 17. Mid-fort goes down in the meantime.
Yeah, Waybridge was there the entire time. And I'm not entirely too sure where into the trees he was thinking of going, but Taz Dingo is now going to be in haste. The Shrink Ray, you talked about this already. The Shrink Ray into the double storms is enough to get the entire thing off. Waybridge will not have the hit points or the cooldown to pick that up, but it looks like the first blue dragon is coming the way of Alex the Pro G. I didn't see him sneak it, but that's going to be a kill on top of Tassadar. No race cars here, but he nearly got that Vala, and I guess that counts for something.
Yeah, 12.5-minute Dragon Knight, though. This is finally going to give Kick that kick of experience that they need, because they're going to be able to push these tier 1 towers down with very little effort and get their eyes on a fort. They have power play coming with 5v4. The Tasks are being taken out there in enemy lines. Without being that race car and being that aggressive, can definitely be punished very, very easily, and that's exactly what they did. So the Dragon Knight still has 30 seconds left, already down to about 1 to 3 HP.
There goes the gate, and at 13 minutes in, as you said, you can actually hit really hard with this Dragon Knight, especially with those first level towers, those first level gates are still there. And well, they cleared out. That's more or less all they're going to get out of it, though. I mean, they got a kill on top of the Tassadar. They got the kill on top of the ETC. They get themselves a little bit more experience, nearly putting them up to par. We are about to hit 18 on this, and it looks like Mercs are now going to be the order of business. Both teams are going to start trying to paint the map their color.
We are blessed.
A lot of pings coming out all over the place.
Yep. Mercs are
constellations.
Mercs
are
big deals, man. Especially on a small map like this. This bottom lane is absolutely the big one.
Caddy Boss is looking to line up a barrel there. A good Devouring Maw onto two, but the Ravenous Spirit on top of a Rain of Vengeance is doing so much work. Zagara is running and running, using her first aid heal to keep her alive. But in the meantime, Tassadar gets taken out. You are not a race car. And that is just going to get him wrecked. As a 2-for-1 exchange going the way of Kick. And now they've evened the odds. They've been behind pretty much since the gates have dropped. The experience is even. They got a good team fight there. Well executed, even with a good Devouring Maw. There just was not enough follow-up, and the initiation from them was on point.
The initiation, the small spots, or the small area of fighting there, definitely did them a lot of favors. Potty Bosses, I think, had critterized right there, but unfortunately, just we're lacking 2 team members right here from the Twisted Fusion, and they cannot really put up a big defense. Weezer thinking about it, he's gonna bring Rolik low, but it's just not gonna be enough. And they get the kill, they will move back out. Level 19 is achieved for a Kick, and they are looking good because Shrines are up in 20. They got the map presence, and even if they can't get a quick Dragon Knight, they're looking good for the race to 20.
And that is going to be a huge one of opportunity for them. Twisted Fusion needs to get themselves on the map. Get these lanes pushed back out at least to the line of scrimmage. Right there in the middle. The Shrines activating this next dragon is going to be heavily contested. He's going to be a very, very strong dragon indeed. Got to be careful about that.
Owl going out, the Owl hype. Ranger's mark, so we didn't have the Pierce, we didn't have the Sentinel. It is the Shooting Star from Tyrande, and you see that time and time again. Waybridge is a split-pushing machine. Look at him down here. Bottom lane gets himself that fort. Every little bit of experience that they can get, they are going for. You can say the same up here for Kick. They're going to grab that fort. That's going to be closer to 20. They got the Bruisers there as well. That will continue on with the push, but it's the bottom lane rush with the Siege Sisters going on, and Blue immediately is making a beeline for it.
So instead of hearthing, they're going to try to outflank their opponents. You would expect the team to all hearth away and be like, okay, they're going to make a defense here, but no. Instead, they're going to go in here and try to ambush Twisted Fusion. There is the Lunar Flare, but they have just given away their position. They know that they're here. Caddy Boss is way in the back lanes. He's got to be careful. Now, here comes the pincer movement, the flank that we were talking about right there. And there's Caddy Boss knocking people around, but a Devouring Maw eats him up, and he is going to be negated completely. Brightwing is sitting on top of Ravenous Spirit, trying to do what she can to stay alive, but the Hammer of Justice is going to keep her in place, allowing the Ravenous Spirit to do the damage that needs to be done to take her down. A 1-for-0 exchange, but Uther is going to get taken out ultimately. And right now, the Lunar Flare did hit, not enough follow-up. Caddy Boss is sitting there taking damage, which he's been doing all game. Can he get the follow-up kill onto Zagara? Zagara is so very low. Yes, Zagara does go down. The mosh pit, though, just gets interrupted immediately, and that mosh pit did absolutely next to nothing. The Guitar Hero Jumari, he's trying to rock and roll his way to get a kill onto one of the 3 low HP of Kick, but the damage is not there. Caddy Boss is going to take the damage from that Sergeant Hammer. Oh, the big AoE from Waybridge. This team fight, back and forth. Everyone is so very low. Who's going to get it? The zombie wall is off the mark. There's the Fall of the Storm. Level 20 is in play here, and this might be the moment that Twisted Fusion needed to get themselves finally another kill, and that is going to be a 3-for-2 exchange favoring Twisted Fusion. My lord, what a team fight. It looks so back and forth, though. Is Twisted Fusion going to be able to capitalize here and get themselves a Dragon Knight?
Well, they already have the bottom shrine, and nobody's making their way up top. The top is, of course, capped by Blue. Brightwing would be a really good target to go out there because he can just phase shift down in a moment's notice. But we also had a healing ward come back up on cooldown, so a little bit more hit points now in the pocket here of Fusion. But they also now have the Bruisers, not the Bruisers, the Siege Giants. They're going to be putting up some pressure. They're going to go and paint this map as much red as they can. Blue has now recovered. They are 4 on the field, and they're going to be putting up this bottom shrine, and nobody has made it top, which means this could be a very quick Tyrande. Oh, the blink.
You gotta be careful about that.
Azul's with the blink, man.
Oh,
He stopped it single-handedly. Play of the game right there. Potty Boss is in a bad spot bottom. He's getting 2v1. Weezer's there. Jumaru, we got Giant Killer. Yeah, Potty Boss is not likely to last, but it doesn't matter. They got the top trigger. How'd they do that?
Wow, good play right there. All the attention being focused on the Potty Boss. He is going to have to use that barrel, but that is going to secure his getaway. A good and very favorable exchange going the way of Kick Incorporated. They're clearing up some of that Zagara creep. Looks like they're going to be making their way down to this bottom lane. And, I mean, for it being an 18-minute game, 18 and a half minutes, Tier 1 towers still standing is usually quite unusual. Usually these Tier 1 towers eventually just get pushed down by creep, let alone a dragon. So that is a testament to how well Twisted Fusion has been maintaining their map and their structures in this game so far. Level 21 and level 21, very, very even game right now. Kick has a great window of opportunity. It feels like they might not be getting much done with this dragon, but it's still up for a 35 seconds. Plenty of time for them to get something done.
Yeah, they're thinking. They're really trying to push this objective. I mean, they do have that dragon, and there's an entire gate and fort still standing into this bottom lane. You know, we're not really seeing those big dives for the keeps. We're not seeing some big keep pressure. It's very methodical, and it's very elimination style. You know, take out one fort, take out the next, go grab the last, and then we'll start working on the keeps. We only got 11 seconds left in that dragon, though, and if you want to start a fight, you can easily just walk into that with Rolik and use the explosion to try to boost someone into a bad situation, but doesn't look like they're interested in that either. They're just going to clean up. Toronto there in the back will survive for now.
So that Dragon Knight did next to nothing. I mean, it was 18-minute Dragon Knight and got a single Tier 1 tower. They need to do more than that when they get themselves a Dragon Knight. So job well done by Twisted, who is doing a party bush down here in bottom lane, though. Maybe they thought that Kick was going to rotate down to the Bruiser camp here at the Horseshoe, but no, they're going to go with the safer play and go for their own Bruiser camp up there in the northwest.
You see an owl go down, so immediately you can tell that Twisted Fusion is spotted out. They go for that Horseshoe, as you like to call it. We do got the top Bruiser pressure now going up. I think we might actually have a little bit of a fight looking for the rotations. I mean, right now, Potty Boss and crew, they're saying, anybody coming? Nope, all clear. They're going to go for the enemy Bruisers. That could be a double Bruiser push into the top. At the same time, Fusion saying, we got Siege Sisters and double camps ourselves pushing into the bottom. This will be somebody's keep. I don't know whose, but it will be somebody's.
Yeah, both of these pushes are both so very strong, and both of these keeps are very susceptible. Kick's keep is susceptible in the bottom lane, the Tier 2s being down, and also Twisted Fusion's keep is susceptible with the Tier 2 towers being down for theirs as well. But it looks like Twisted Fusions are going to be the one on the defense, but unfortunately just a little bit too late. The keep does go down. Now they're going to be on the chase, though. The Twisted Fusion looks like they had a good exit strategy. They're going to get out of here cleanly. They're all mounted up. Taz Dingo using the multi-shot, a Bolt of the Storm from Tyrana looking for a Lunar Flare, but just no follow-up, and this Bruiser camp is now making its march up to top lane.
If I had to give any kind of team fight right there, I would have said that Team Fusion should have fought when they had both the Stone Bros and the Bruisers, because the Bruisers are still getting cleaned up here. Instead, they opt to go defensive. They got to deal with the double Bruiser top lane that came out of Team Kick. So that will be the saving grace. More Stone Bros going to be joining the bottom lane fight here for Team Red. They're very persuasive with their bribes, very persuasive with their methods, but 22 apiece at 21 levels, 7 kills to 5. I'm actually really sad we didn't cover this as our first round 64.
I know. A very good match so far, and we're in the late game situation where both these teams are on thin ice. As if the ice is starting to crack, and if any of them fall into the water, it's going to just pretty much spell the end of the game, as respawn timers are upwards of pretty much over a minute guaranteed once you hit these late game, hyper late game situations like we're at right now. A minute 22 Dragon Knight is going to do so much damage with all the keeps being exposed on both sides of the map. This is going to be a pivotal moment for both of these teams. Whoever gets a team fight is going to get themselves a dragon, and whoever gets this dragon is going to take down some keeps, potentially a core.
Well, Fusion has the one keep down. It's the only one in the game. You see the catapult now rolling in. It's a pretty big creep wave as well. I mean, if you want to try to push your advantage as much as you can in a close game, you're going to come down to positioning, creeps, any kind of mercs that you can. Damage is damage, and there goes Amal. The blink forward with the Amal. Ravenous is going to come out from afar. Blink forward there from Jumara will stop that out, but we didn't really have too much of a follow-up there. On top of them all, the Hurricane and Starfall is going to be enough. There goes the battle count. No, he gets healed up right swing with the gusty healing at the end of it. Potty Boss didn't hit him with the barrel. That could have been a big misplay from his side, but he jumped to the other side of Weezer. He is going to be on the defensive end of things, and no deaths at the 23-minute mark, Shinguchi.
Wow.
That was 8. That was, yeah, that was
Wow.
8 ultimates, but no kills.
Both, I mean, ETC went in there and interrupted the Ravenous Spirit with a good play, but it turned into a little bit of an overextension as his team didn't follow through with it. But oh no, speaking of overextension, Jumari here is completely caught up, but Sergeant Hammer gets taken out in the backline by Fall. Rain of Vengeance followed up with Patty Bus, and the ETC goes down in the southern part of the lane. Tyrande followed up that with a good secondary Lunar Flare. There's another Lunar Flare, but unfortunately just a little bit off the mark. Waybridge, it looks like he is going to be collapsing as he gets taken out, and what was a really even exchange, as even as you can get, turned into a very one-sided fight favoring Kick Incorporated, and this is going to allow them to get a 23, almost 24-minute Dragon Knight. Tassadar down for 50 seconds, ETC down for 40 seconds, Sergeant Hammer down for 30. This is going to be at least a keep or two, potentially a core here.
30 seconds doesn't feel like enough to end the game, but we have seen this before in some of the more amateur leagues. If you pick up like a 20-minute plus Dragon Knight and you have a free access to court, you can almost just walk up to it, and by the time they chew through the entire hit point pool of your Dragon, you could bring it down 10, 20, 30%. Easy peasy. Right now, we have an entire team to go with this 24-minute Dragon Knight, and these keeps are not living. Absolutely. They are going down in a blink of an eye, and we still have 2 dead. Rolik and crew are going to go for the win.
Yeah, using the Ravenous Spirit on top of the core as well as the Zagara. She's going to use the Maw on the Ravenous Spirit, but I feel like that right there is just a desperation. 11-20, 11-20, 11-20, ladies and gentlemen. So much damage on top of that core. It is going to be going down, and Kick Incorporated showing the strength as Twisted Fusion had great early game. Their mid game was pretty phenomenal as well. However, weather in the storm. Kick able to take the game with a late game team fight and a late game Dragon Knight. Well done by them.
Said that should have been our round of 64 match.